Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the Northeast Texas, Southeast Texas, Northwest Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, and to every nook and cranny receiving the signals from our 100,000 watt transmitter into those magical boxes known as radio, aka the Howard Reynolds machines. Anyway, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. And of course, buenos dias to the entire world who are receiving our signals from the internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by you, we the people, created by and funded by you, your tax dollars, your intellect, and everything else. Now, because of the current economic system that we have, not under your full control, and something now that you can be lucky to just use if you pay for. Anyhow, folks, without any further ado, let's go to the studio. El estudio. Buenos dias, mis hermanos. Good morning to Howard Reynolds and Jacques Van Beba.
Howard, where are you? Howard's not here.
Oh, he skipped out on us today, but that's okay, man. You know, we still have Howard in our heart. So I guess that means before we get to you, my dear brother, we head to the one and only interim manager of KPFT, Sandy. How you doing, Sandy Wyman?
Hey, good morning, Egberto, and good morning to all our listeners on the final Monday of our October Fund Drive. That's right, final. In fact, tomorrow it all comes to an end for Fund Drive and a new beginning for the United States when we figure out who won, or sort of who won. 713-526-5738 is our phone number. We had a pretty good weekend, and we got our sustaining rollover money. So, folks, the end is in sight, and by that I mean the goal is in sight. A couple of good days and a few more of you signing up as sustainers, and we will make our $150,000 goal. Currently, we stand at $134,511. That was amassed by 779 kind acts of donation. Folks, this is an important day. If you haven't yet pledged, this would be a great day to do it. Get us off on a good start on Monday. Monday and Tuesday are essential for us to get over that finish line. So do your part, please. Egberto, back to you. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you, my brother.
Is Howard? Where is Howard today? We'll have. What's your speculation on that?
My speculation is that he's doing something great for the station, but I don't know. I didn't know that he wasn't going to be sitting right there next to our brother Van Beber, which means Van Beber is going to be an octopus this morning.
You bet.
You know, hey, but look, before we get started here, and before you guys start calling, Van Beber, give me the word of the day, my brother.
All right. Howard's out shooting a training film today.
Great.
So that's where he's at. Okay. Good morning, Egberto. How are you doing?
I am doing fine, my brother. Talk to me.
Okay. Well, senior citizens rely on policies like Social Security and Medicare. We need our government to protect seniors that have given so much to this country. They deserve a strong social safety net. We need progressive policies that will improve senior care, fix their teeth, treat their hearing loss, give them glasses. They sacrifice their health and well-being in many ways to take care of their families, the families that built this country. America promised to take care of them. Keep your promise to the citizens. We need a president, not a vampire capitalist that's going to allow the insurance companies, to profit off of a senior's illness and misery. Get out there and vote. Get out there and vote these people out and vote the right ones in.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. That vampire capitalism I think you are the ones that kind of stopped me from using. I don't remember what I used to use as a prefix,
Vulture
but
capitalism.
vulture. You said nah, 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 nah. It's not vulture. You have to call it what it is, vampire,
You don't
because
want to
it's
insult no vultures around here.
right. You said you want it's sucking the blood. But look, before we get started, look, we got a great program for you today. But let's make Sandy's day. Because if we make Sandy's day, we make KPFT's quarter. Okay. So my brothers and sister and Tag, I'm coming to you in a second, and then we have a great program. We have a very important video to play as well. But here is the deal, my brothers and my sisters. If you have never, first of all, the program today, you're going to see why a KPFT is so important. Because that topic that Brother Van Bever started with regards to Social Security, etc., there's so much that people don't know. There's so much that people don't realize until they are in the position. And the problem is that most of us are not in that position of dire straits at any one time. And because that's not the case, so many times these things fall under the rug. So we're going to start there. But beforehand, I'd like to ask you so kindly, folks, we're a few $1,000s away from our goal. I think if I understood Sandy correctly, about $17,000 or so away from our goal. And we only have 2 days to raise $17,000. I would like Politics Done Right, those of you that are listening to Politics Done Right, to do our part. We are on every single morning at 6 a.m. We have quite a few hours on the air here, folks. So I would like us this morning to at least bring in 500. Boy, 1,000 would be great. If you have deep pockets right now and you see the value that we provide, and you were, I don't want to say you were blessed. I don't like to say when people have been successful in doing something, I don't like to say they're blessed because they work hard. You work hard for your money. I'm not talking about the plutocrats. I'm not talking about the oligarchs. I'm not talking about the billionaires who made their monies on your back. I'm talking about that baker that gets up every morning at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock to make sure that those kolaches are ready in the morning, and he gets the fruit of his labor. That grocery store owner who makes sure and get those esoteric things that you want, and they find for you from around the world, and you can go to that one store and get it. That's a service they're giving you. They've earned their profits. I'm talking for that person who owns that abarroteria that serves the community, that convenience store that's serving the community, and it's there day in and day out, day in and day out. That private store that he gives a service and he gets his profit. Great thing. If you are blessed in being able to, because of the structure of America, have been able to grow yourself into something financially successful, I ask you, give us what you can, support what we do. We are doing this also for you, because a healthy middle class, a person that has social security at the end of their working life, a person that even is on welfare because their bodies don't they don't have the wherewithal to work at this time. Somebody that is disabled that's getting support from our government, from we the people. They are also contributing to our economy because they're buying from you. They're supporting you. Uh, some some would have you believe that these guys at the top are the makers. These guys are the top, are the ones who make things happen. No, 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 no. You are. Whenever you go to that store and you spend $1, you are making our economy run. And there was a time during the pandemic when the plutocrats really finally realized that for a few minutes, they realized that, oh my God, if these people are not in the economy, we're shot. I mean, if we were to go back and grow our own food and go back and do all these things on an individual basis, all these plutocrats that make their monies on the back of others, it's over. So look, what I'm saying, folks, is we give the appropriate perspective. We give the appropriate honor to you. And many of us don't realize what our true worth is, what we are worthy of. And because of that, we've allowed both our political system and those who run our economic system to deny us that which is ours. And one of the tenets of this program, and it's an altruistic tenet, if you will, but it is one that would inform us in such a manner that all of us would realize first, we're not really individualists. We're really a collective. We really depend on each other, whether people want to accept it or not. Bezos cannot exist without you. Elon Musk cannot exist without you. Nobody's an individualist. They may want to think they are, but nobody is. So if you want us making sure that all of us know this message so that we can collectively and elect the appropriate people that will lend us the opportunity for this reality, supporting a KPFT is essential, is critical. So I'm asking you so kindly to please give us a call now at 7. And as Sandy said, 2 more days you have to tolerate this, man. And after this, have I got some good interviews and good material for you that's not going to be interrupted by this pitching that I hate to do? We all hate to pitch and say we need the funding for the station. I know you hate it, I hate it, but we still give you a program interspaced. So I ask you, as I'm pitching right now, to please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. What can you offer? First of all, you can donate whatever you want to donate, whatever you want. But we are asking for sort of a security basis to consider becoming a sustainer. That means saying, I'll give you guys a cup of coffee a month. That's $5 a month. I'll give you about a couple of coffees a month, $10 a month. I'll give you 3 coffees, $15. Whatever you can. If you have been blessed, give more. It'll not only feel good, but you will be passing it forward. But not only that, if you're a business person, if you're a person that depends on people coming and get something from you, buying something from you, using your services, if people are able to use your services, it stands for a people who have. And the people who have are ones who demand that the system provides. So again, give me a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate, or go to kpft.org. Again, that is kpft.org. Hit that donate button. After you hit that donate button, select Politics Done Right as the program you're supporting and give whatever you can. By the way, Coffee with Egberto, $250, baby. That's just a gimmick, right? But we sit down and have coffee, shoot the bull, talk. You can tell me you don't like me for something that I say, or you like what I say, or you want me to. I mean, it is in your terms. So we have a lot of ways that you can support us, my friends. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or kpft.org. If you have never given before, but you love what we do, you like the program that we're doing here in politics, you love the music that we play, which in general differs from what you hear on the standard FM stations. If you like what we do, consider doing it the very first time. And please just don't wait for, the other person is going to do it or whatever. We need you to do it. So I'm asking you so kindly, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. extension number 1 to donate, or go to kpft.org. Let's go ahead and start with Brother Tag. Tag, how you doing this morning, sir?
Good, Egberto. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Talk to me.
Well, I just think that today and tomorrow people should be able to donate to KPFT with the assurance that we're going to have another 4 years of growth and sustainability in America. And I don't think we're going to go backwards and have austerity and a lot of division. And I think that's a good thing for all of us. And the only thing that's really sad about this whole scenario is that we aren't going to have a duopoly anymore in our government. What's the other side going to do now? And so I think our side is the Democrats are going to, do real well, but there isn't really another voice out there that we need to have a second voice in our political system. And the old Republicans are gone. The new Republicans, I don't think, are going to survive very long. And who's going to be there? That's my question going forward. But congratulations to KPFT.
Thank you, my brother. I think that's an important thing. I want Republicans. I say that from the depths of my heart. I want serious Republicans out there with policies that differ from mine so that we can hammer things out. Anybody, look, the gene pool, right? If you get everything bland and the same, people get lazy. People the system just doesn't work. You need diversity. Every type of diversity possible. Diversity politically, diversity in everything. You don't need anything that just great homogeneity. You don't need that. And actually, homogeneity is the wrong word because that is mixing two things. And but the bottom line is this: we need and I have a lot of Republican friends, and they will be back as soon as this fever breaks. We've been trying to break this fever since Obama. Okay, but the fever tag will break. Look, Liz Cheney ain't no progressive. Yes, she's supporting Kamala, but after that, the war is, I call it the war, but I'm talking about benevolent war. It's going to be on. The battle of ideas are going to be on. I am going to be wanted. I'm going to be bleeding heart. And when I say I'm talking about progressives are going to be bleeding hearts as we are. And we will have our conservative brothers and sisters saying, hey, 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 ho, ho, ho. Look, I've taken conservative ideas, realizing that certain things that we do as progressives, kind of has some issues with it. And that's what we need. We need all sides of the coin. But we don't need the crazy things that MAGA promotes. That is something we don't need. And you're absolutely right, Tag. It's not going to be a monopoly. I prefer it not even to be a duopoly. I want it to be a monopoly. What is a monopoly? I forget what the word is for that. I want to have a lot of different parts.
Sure.
You know what I mean, right? I want a lot of viable parties, because look, the best thing that occurs is when we sit down and have dialogue with all kind of folks, and you disagree here, and it's like after a while you disagree, and then the other person makes so much sense, you say, well, hell, I'm gonna steal your idea. I agree with that. And that's that makes for the best country. And that is where we were heading. Tag, that is where we're heading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Alberto, who can argue with not taxing Social Security or not taxing tips? I mean, it's a great idea, but we need to have people in Washington that are willing to go ahead and do that, not just talk about it. And I think going forward, that's what we're going to have. I think we've got a lot of the old Republicans who have learned a lot and are going to do something new and better for us all. So with that, I'm going to pass, Egberto.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Tag. I'm going to take Ray, and then I'm going to play my video, and then from that, we'll take the rest of the calls. But folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Let's go to Ray, 713-526-5738. 573. Please, folks, we need your calls right now. Ray, come on in, my brother.
Yeah, Brother Egberto, top of the morning to you. You know, I wanted to share a story with you today. I know we're going to have a lot of callers, so I'm going to try to keep it brief. But as we get nearer to the election, you know, I kind of had a moment to address some of my colleagues that I work with about the importance of this election. And one of the things that I shouted out, you know, at the loudest, and I looked at everybody in the room, and I said, no matter who you think you are, right now you might think they're not talking about you, but don't believe that. Just believe that once they finish othering somebody else, it's going to come around to you. Believe what I say. And after I had this speech, that person who I've been very, very verbal with, you know, she's one of the, she kind of reminds me of your sister. She leans very heavily on her Christian faith and saying, you know, what really, you know, grinds my gears about her and people who think like her in the aggregate is that it's always, it doesn't matter what happens at the political level because God has control of all of it. And I feel like, to me, that's a derelict of duty, of your duty as a human being on this planet and this society. That's a derelict of duty. See, I feel like this every time, and when she said that, we had we pretty much got into what you would call a verbal fisticuffs, and I just kept hitting her with the same scripture. Faith without works is dead, and as long as we don't do the work here, your faith is dead, because the world that you want to believe. And you know what she told me? She told me, I just don't believe in everything that Kamala believes. I don't believe that transgender people should be able to influence my child, because that's the devil trying to influence my child. I'm like, oh my God, so you're one of those people. So you rather live under the rule of Project 2025 as long as you can shield your precious child who you think is going to live a good life, because you don't want them to see transgender people. It made me sick to my stomach. And yeah, I did want her to feel every bit of that. I wasn't talking to her, but if the shoe fits, yeah, I'm Payless. Your rebuttal?
Let me tell you, first of all, look, you have to front these people civilly, of course, but you have to front them because, you know, they've been played with. Those ads that you see on TV about transgender and all of that. First of all, that is a very, very small occurrence of anything out here, but they make it big because they want to attack the feeble mind. They want to, and it's only the feeble mind that works with. But if you get enough feeble-minded people, then it works. So our job is to empower the feeble-minded and change them from feeble-minded to strong-minded. Ray, by the way, I want to say it was great having you at Ask Egberto Everything on Saturday. That was a great Ask Egberto Anything, and you had a whole lot of great input. But look, I have to go play my video before I answer the next 3 calls. So anything else you have to say? And by the way, I got to get in touch with you. I need your help in a project we're doing on the weekend, but we'll be in touch. All right?
Hey, you got my email and my number, so
I got it, brother.
Ready.
Thank you so kindly. You have a wonderful rest of your day, Brother Ray. Hey, callers, hold on just a minute, but this is a video that you have to hear. I interviewed Dr. Murphey yesterday because I needed to get this played on the air today. So hold on a bit. I'm coming to you. But before I play the video, I need to go to Sandy, and then I'll play the video, and then I'll come to you. Just sit down, grab a cup of coffee, guys. Sandy.
Hey, good morning once again. And this is the final Monday of Fund Drive. And so far, we're yet to crack the ice. We're at a goose egg for the morning. As I said at the top of the show, today and tomorrow are critical. We have 2 good days. We will cross the finish line. If not, we may come in a bit short. A bit short in this case is not so good. We really plan to fully fund so that we can pay the bills. That's what it boils down to. So, folks, if you've yet to make that pledge, if you've yet to do that in this drive or maybe in a year, remember this is the final drive of 2024. If you're looking for that tax deduction, or just looking to make a contribution in the year, this is it, today and tomorrow on this program. I encourage you to think about what KPFT represents. It's the forum for the public square, literally every morning, unfettered with commercials and bias and influence from those sources of revenue. The money comes from you, and the time it comes during fund drive, and guess what? This is the time. Fund drive, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. As I stare at my coffee cup, I'm reminded that for $10 a month, you can pick up a Caroline Street coffee mug and a 1-pound bag of roasted beans from Lola Savannah, labeled for us. That's right, KPFT, the Caroline Blend. And that's $10 a month. And when you join or when you donate, please do consider that sustainer, $5 or $10 a month. $10 a month will get you the coffee in the cup. And when you do that, your pledge is going to be greeted with a $50 match, making it that much easier for us to bridge these last $15,489 that we're currently short of our $150,000 goal. And remember, that sustainer match is not yet included. So the work that we have to do truly is probably about another $10,000 today and tomorrow, and we will be there. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. There's only one community radio station in Houston, that's KPFT. It's powered by volunteers, it's funded by listeners, and never will you hear that commercial. Back to you, Egberto. Let's get that first pledge going here.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. Come on, folks. I really would love to thank you on air. I really want to thank you on air. Give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate, or go to kpft.org, select donate, and then hit that, select Politics Done Right as a program you're supporting, hit that donate, select whatever you want to give us. Welcome aboard Clarissa Turcios from our chat, as well as Eric Hayes and Texas Blue Bonnet. Here is the video. Welcome to another edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willis, your host. Today, we're honored to have once again Dr. Dona Kim Murphey. She's a neuroscientist, neurologist, community organizer, historian of science, race, immigration, poverty, and health. She's also the founder of Prognosis. And I tell you what, welcome to Politics Done Right. Donna, how are you doing today?
Great. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me again.
Well, look, first of all, before we get started into the nitty-gritty of what we want to talk about, tell me a little bit about this new company that you have called Prognosis, but it's spelled not I-S, but U-S. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah. And kind of our motto is basically that the journey with dementia is much easier with us together than I alone. And we kind of have built the company around the idea that community is really central to navigating this illness, which is fundamentally an illness that impacts not just the person living with the disease or the condition, but the family around them. And that can be biological family or chosen family, but it becomes a responsibility of other people because the people living with the disease actually become more and more dependent. They cannot live independently as the disease advances. We also are interested in the racialized health disparities in the disease because we have twice the incidence in people who are African American and 1.5 times the incidence in people who are Latino. It is Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month in November. It is also, interestingly, National Family Caregivers Month in November. And those two things are very much related in this condition of dementia, not just Alzheimer's, which is the most common kind of dementia, but in all of the other kinds of dementia as well. And beyond the disparities that we see in incidence, I just want to mention, because I am Korean American myself, that there are disparities that we see because of language access issues, immigration status issues, other kinds of things that other marginalized or minoritized populations face in terms of access to resources that are culturally fluent, that are language specific, that are safe to access for these other communities.
You know, it's interesting because over the last several weeks, because, you know, we're in this period of time where you have to select Medicare. It's time to switch over from Medicare to Medicare Advantage or vice versa or whatever you want to do. And I have been pointing out to a whole lot of people the dangers of Medicare Advantage and why they shouldn't follow folks trying to get them to leave their good Medicare Advantage with a good Medigap program to go into these private things. Now, the reason I brought that up to tie into what you do as far as healthcare dementia is concerned is we also know that the private sector in minimizing costs, etc., they don't treat the problems with dementia as illnesses as serious as they should.
Right.
While people that are going to the election to vote in the next day or so, they have to decide who to choose. And they have to understand that whoever they choose has a material effect, not only on themselves, but the health of their people. And if I recall, Kamala Harris has a program that fits exactly into what you've been speaking about with regards to dementia, et cetera. So why don't we talk about that and also relate it to the politics? Because I think it's extremely important that we do so.
Oh, I totally agree. This is why I thought it would be great to have this conversation with you specifically. So, a couple of things with Medicare. You're exactly right that right now is the opportunity, that open window of enrollment for Medicare. If you are on a Medicare Advantage plan, I actually highly recommend to caregivers who have loved ones with dementia that they consider switching to traditional Medicare, or parts A and B, because there is now a program that is like an innovative program through the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, their Center for Innovation, that is called the GUIDE model. And this model actually specifically concerns itself with not just the person who has the diagnosis of dementia who has suspected disease, but also with the person caring for them. Because as I said before, that person becomes absolutely vital to the welfare of the person who has the disease. So they recognize that and they say, look, we are going to not only pay for diagnosis and therapy, we are going to pay for care coordination, care navigation, 24/7 caregiver support. We're offering $2,500 a year of caregiver respite, which, to be honest, if you're one of the caregivers, like I'm a support caregiver to multiple people in my family, you burn through $2,500 in no time. But you know what? Something is better than nothing. Right. And right now there is nothing. And so this new program has been rolled out as of July of this year. It's supposed to run 8 years, and then they're supposed to make an assessment as to whether, they're going to continue or expand the program. This, is under threat. Trump is always insinuating or stating explicitly that he's going to undo all kinds of, all parts of Medicare. So, yes.
Let me just say that this is not conjecture. Mike Johnson, about 4 days ago, went on and he said, when they asked about the elimination of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, he said yes. And then he kind of corrected himself and said, we have to make major changes, but we're removing regulations, which, as you know, means pre-existing conditions, which, as you know, a program like you're talking about, throwing that into the private sector, they are going to try to make money out of dementia, which in effect prevents that person who is caring for that dementia person from getting the resources they need for the actual care.
Absolutely. And to just give people an understanding of the magnitude of this issue, which is going to touch every single one of us. We have 7 million people impacted right now with this disease. We estimate there are like 2 people for every 1 person with the disease who's involved in the care of that person. That number will more than double in the United States over the next 25 years. Everybody will know somebody and will, in all likelihood, be involved in someone's care. And this disease costs for every person with the diagnosis during the course of the illness something approaching $300,000. So it cannot be handled often by the person themselves or even their families without assistance. Right now, we're having to do all kinds of, gymnastics around how do I spend down my assets or redistribute my assets in a way that allows me to qualify for Medicaid when they look back 5 years. And yes,
we have to. That is something that bears extreme explanation here. They require you to get health care, to get the insurance from the government to lose all your assets before you qualify for anything. So you have to be poverty stricken.
Right. And, in places where they haven't expanded Medicaid, right? Like it's like nearly impossible, right? This is what pays for nursing home care. Many people at the end of this disease, if they decide, right? Many families decide or that they can't or that they won't actually put their loved ones into nursing homes. And that's another challenge. But if they decide to put their loved ones into a nursing home setting, they have to qualify for Medicaid, or often they cannot afford it. And to do that, you do have to basically, get rid of all of this person's assets. So, talk about the inability to have intergenerational wealth, for instance, right? Like, no, you have to get rid of all of it. And this really bankrupts individuals and their families. Women who are doing most of the care, 2/3 of the caregivers are women, about 1/3 are men. They have to quit their jobs, right? They have to make all kinds of concessions, I think, that they wouldn't ordinarily have to make in order to care for their loved ones who are aging and have this disease. It's often the case that they're also simultaneously caring for young ones in the family. So they have these like multiple duties. They're considered the sandwich.
Both on the top and the bottom, their parents and their kids. So I think they call them the sandwich generation. Yeah.
Exactly. And just thinking about like how that's going to impact gender disparities across the board, economic, health disparities, right? The caregivers actually suffer tremendously in terms of their own health because they neglect themselves and having to do all of this care for a loved one who requires 24/7 supervision as the disease advances. They don't have time for themselves often. So it's a huge problem. The plan that Kamala Harris has put forward for supporting caregivers is something that has been dubbed Medicare at home, right? Right now, if you qualify for Medicaid, which again, very few people do, especially in states like Texas, if you qualify, you may be able to receive some home-based services. Medicare does not support those services. So she wants to allow Medicare to actually cover that, right? So in-home support, which would be huge. Most of our families do actually choose to keep our loved ones at home. And that's kind of what is most desirable, I think, for the dignity of that individual.
Oh, yeah.
To stay where that is familiar to them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So she's now proposing to actually invest in that, actually, to invest public resources into Medicare, this idea of Medicare at home that would both include those home-based services as well as, she's tackling paid leave for family caregivers so that they can actually afford to be home and to spend that time that is important to many people with their loved ones.
So look, dementia and many other chronic illnesses will affect all of us at some point in time, whether it's your parents, your kids, or yourself. That's a statement of fact. Now, here's the interesting thing, and because we need to close out now, but here's what I want to say, Donna. Politics matters. Who you vote for matters. Whether it is, and it's not solely this election. This election is extremely important that you vote your interests, that you vote your health, that you vote your personal economy. But it doesn't stop here. Texas is a state that doesn't accept the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act. Even though we pay for it, we don't get it because and our Republican legislature claimed to be fiscally responsible as they deny coverage and make many of their citizens die. So let's be very clear here. Your vote matters. And as Dr. Dona Murphey has said here, it is something that we have to work on. So, Donna, please give us a closing message. And I know this isn't supposed to be political, but I need you to be political, not only for the next election, but for subsequent elections to ensure that we start getting the resources that we deserve and that we've earned out of our government.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say to any caregiver out there, anybody who has an aging parent now, where maybe you have some suspicion that something is going on with them, this is really going to touch all of us. And we have to think about what is in the best interests of our families, right? Like political identities aside, like what is in the best interests of our families? And here, I think there is no question, right, in this case. And I have my own beef with the option that we have, right? Like on the political left, I have my own beef. And yet, I think it is absolutely critical that we support Harris in this election and in the future, people who actually state that they will protect these, this right to healthcare, at least in some fashion, right? We still have problems with it. I know you and I have problems with the way it's done.
Absolutely.
But it could be better. But I think here we have an opportunity with one candidate to potentially make it better. And with the other candidate, we don't have that opportunity at all. And so I think it's clear what the choice is.
Dr. Dona Kim Murphey, founder of Prognosis, as well as a community, a great community activist. I've known her for a very long time. She is essential to our community. Thank you so kindly for having been on Politics Done Right.
Thank you so much.
That was Kim, Dr. Kim Murphey. I mean, she's a great person. Anyway, folks, we are still at 0 and we are at 640. Folks, please give us a call now at 713-526-5738. Remember, we are almost near the goal and we have to get there. This is your station. We bring you the info that makes a difference. We bring you the music that makes a difference. We give you the community notions that make a difference. So please support us best you can. Give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. I'm going to jump to Johnny, and then we'll take on. Come on in, Johnny.
Good morning. So whether it's health care, specifically for the elderly, or whether it's primary and secondary education in this country, we see time and time again how the party of no, the GOP, they are monochromal in their worldview. They see everything in simple black and white terms. They don't like nuance. They hate nuance. They hate people being empowered. They want to take television back to black and white. They want to own and control black people. They want to own libs. Their language is violent. Their attitude is monochromal. They don't believe in diversity. You mentioned diversity earlier. That's what got me on this kick right now with what you said. And it's so true. Diversity is the key. That's the strength. And we see that in Mother Nature, and we see that with common sense solutions to the problems we have. But the GOP, the Republicans, have historically, up and including till right now, their attitude is everything is simple, just like Donald Trump is simple. Simpletons and simple. We need complex. We need complexity. We need, in our thought process, and we need common sense solutions. And we can't get it with them in charge. That being said, I just want you to know that when I went to vote the other day, I voted in 3 races and I left all the other ones blank out of anger and because I could do it being in a red state. So I filled in Cenk Uygur. I voted for the Green Party railroad commissioner, but I was generous and kind enough to vote for Colin Allred, even though he's a centrist. So that's what I did, and I hope that will be sufficient. I know Texas is not a battleground state, but according to what I've been seeing online the other day, there's some indication that Texas could turn blue. So let's cross our fingers, cross our eyes, cross whatever it is you need to cross, and tell your friends and neighbors to go to gregpalast.com and take a look at that 1 hour, 20-minute documentary. It's an eye-opener, and it tells you that the Republicans, like the guy in Georgia, the governor there, so-called governor, Brian Kemp, like I said to you over a year or 2 ago, that guy should have been arrested and held pending criminal trial for what he did. Look at what he did. One white guy, he destroyed the voting, tens of thousands of voting registrations, and he did not be held to account. But one poor black woman, she was encouraged to vote. And then when she voted, they sent her back to prison because technically she was on paper. And what damage did she do, really, compared to the white guy who's in the governor's mansion up in Georgia? There's no justice in this country when we see things like that.
Johnny, we're working towards justice, and as Obama and others have said, and I've, the arc bends slowly, or something to that nature. But we'll get there. I have faith in the country, and I have faith in the American people, and I have faith specifically in American women that the election will be a surprise and it'll come out the way it should. Thank you, Johnny. We'll talk another time when we have more time to speak. But for now, I got to run to Sandy and then come back to continue with the calls. Sandy.
Yeah, hey, Berto. We need to continue with the calls and get the dialogue, and that dialogue hopefully will lead to an understanding, and understanding can lead to peace. Such is the role for KPFT on shows like this and all through the schedule, where you're going to get different programming from your friends and neighbors. It's not brought in from outside, it's generated from within Houston. If you value community radio commercial free, please do make that call. Now, we're still at zero this morning, folks. McBurnell laid down the gauntlet, $500 or $1,000 this morning. Well, a $5 a month sustainer would get us toward that goal. Right now, we haven't even taken the smallest of steps. Everybody, please, we've got just today and tomorrow, and then we're done with this fund drive. We'll all take a breath, and we will not be back till February doing this again. We'll go those winter months with the money that we gather up now, paying those bills. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. A Politics Done Right t-shirt is a $100 donation. Come on now, do your part, big or small, do what you can in these final minutes of fund drive, today and tomorrow, and then it's done. We've been coming at you now for, not quite 3 weeks. Thursday would mark, or Wednesday would mark the 3rd week mark. This is a 21-day drive altogether. We'll finish on Tuesday, or 20-day drive altogether, finishing on Tuesday. It's a little bit shorter than other drives that we've had in the past to accomplish the 150,000, largely in part thanks to sustaining pledges. And with the rollovers, we've had a total of 274 sustaining participations. Not all new in this drive, some just supplying the money toward it. And that money goes right into the bank account straight away. It's the future for KPFT. It's the future of stability for KPFT. Please do join in as a sustainer. Get your pledge matched and make it so much easier on the days, months, years going forward to run this community radio station. It's your station, and if you want to keep it, please participate. Egberto.
Thank you very much, Sandy. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Folks, I'm still at zero. I know you're going to help me out here. The station needs you. Let's go to Harry. Come on in, Harry. I got about 90 seconds. I'm going to hold it for now. Come on in, brother.
Good morning, Alberto. Good morning, Jack, and good morning, Sandy. Good morning to KPFT, and good morning to Howard, wherever you are. Let's just keep doing everything we can to keep this show going and other shows going and keep KPFT running. I do my part like everybody else. Anyway, I've got two things I want to talk about. The first thing, when you were talking about when you interviewed, what's her name, Dr. Murphey?
Yes.
In the video you just played, what I wanted to know, what was the disease? What was the disease Dr. Murphy was talking about for the
dementia?
Dementia. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay, well, you answered that question. Now the other thing is, Roberto, did you look at Friday's Democracy Now?
No, I didn't. But just tell me your point, my dear brother.
Okay, well, I think when you get a chance, I think you should look at that show, because in the last 12 minutes, he had a guest on named Elliot Mustow, and he was talking about the 12th Amendment, and he was talking about what Donald Trump was talking about a secret, and what they're going to do is when obviously you know this, and anybody who has voted long enough understands how our system works, that when we vote for these electors. And then these electors, they get certified after the election is done. They're saying that on December 11th, that any swing states that Kamala Harris has won, that Mike Johnson is going to delay, and then those votes won't those swing state votes won't be counted. And then they were talking about in the 12th Amendment how they can take down the amount of I can't remember exactly with how many delegates the Republicans control down to 548 to 528, and then he was outlining how what would happen there is that you may not have to have 270, and so
Okay, yeah. Let me explain that real quick. What happens? Let me explain. Hold on a second, Harry. Let me explain real quick because we're set for time here. What happens is there are two ways that the electors, if you reduce the total pool from the 538 or whatever that number is, the 270 times 2 plus 1, or 270 times 2 minus 1. What happens is if a state comes out, the proportion drops for the amount that you need electors for. That's not going to happen. I know what Elim Mistal is talking about. Now, the other thing is that if we don't get if we somehow prove that the election is fraudulent or we can't prove the electors, it goes then one state, one vote. And since I think there are 26 or 27 states that are with Republican delegation, even though they don't make up a majority, then Donald Trump will win. One of the things that we have to, one of the things that we have to remember here is that that Kamala is still the president of the Senate, number one, and number two, that it's a Democratic administration in power. So none of the crap they're talking about making sense. What upsets me about the media is the media sensationalizes everything. They have this thing about, suppose Donald Trump doesn't accept defeat. Who cares? He is not going to be running the transfer. Again, they give a lot of power to this one guy. It doesn't matter. We don't need to worry about whether he accepts anything or not. All we need to do is go out there and vote. If the vote says Kamala Harris wins, she will be president. Nothing more. Hey, I gotta go, Harry. Because I gotta go, Harry. It's too full. Let's go to David. Come on in, David.
Oh, thanks, Better. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, been some great calls this morning. Ray talking about, basically.
Ray is great. Harry is great. John is great. We have the best callers, the best listeners, man, including you, David. So let me hear your point.
Oh, shucks. Well, yeah, regarding the last one, over in Louisiana, Mike Johnson is up for re-election, and he's the rat been taking part in some of these machinations to steal the vote, and it's not just stealing the vote from Louisiana. He'd be stealing the vote from the entire country. With these machinations of how Congress would be able to give it to Trump. So that's an interesting point. And if you know people over in Louisiana, if listeners do, make sure that Mike Johnson loses his reelection. One thing that I noticed in Texas politics, over in Fayette County, I guess that's just west of you, over near
Northwest.
The Democrats over there bought a billboard for Kamala Harris, and all of a sudden, after 2 days, it was taken down. And Ken Paxton, of course, he's the Attorney General of Texas, and he's a con artist and a crook. As the Attorney General of Texas, he's out there. If you go to the Attorney General's webpage, he's doing what they're calling political warfare. He's trying to manipulate Vote Blue, as if they're committing crimes. But is he putting a stop to removing billboards?
Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. But, what I'm saying is, look, what we need to do, right? The magic here, Brother David, is just the ballot. It's just the voting booth. Everything else is noise. All the signs are noise. Pulling down a Kamala sign in Bastrop, which is a place where this occurs. I mean, there's a woman who came and said she was so happy finally to see a Kamala Harris sign in Bastrop, Texas. I ride the bike. I used to cycle in Bastrop in the park. So look, I want everybody that's listening to my voice to do this. Don't worry about any of the noise around you. Simply go into that booth and vote your interest. That's it.
No joke.
Everything else is noise. Everything else is noise. You go do your job. Go into that booth and vote, and get your friends to go vote appropriately their interests. And if they vote their interests, we know who it could be. I can't tell you to vote for anybody. We are a public station, but I can tell you what are the things each of these candidates stand for and what's in your interest. Hey, David, I got to go to another call, brother. Thank you so
No
kindly for
trouble.
calling in.
Yeah, just to wrap it up. With Ray's call, Bob Dylan had a line in one of his songs, "Who are you that I should have to lie? Why
There
should
you
I
go.
give up my reputation just to satisfy a fool?" So, yeah, go out there and vote and make sure you do it right.
Thank you,
Take care.
David. Let's have a great day. So, folks, that's the magic. Go out there and vote. Everything else is noise, and your vote is private. Women, you are going to save America. Let's go to Jimmy.
Good morning, Egberto. How you doing?
How you doing, my brother? Talk to me.
Good. Tomorrow's election day, and it's very important. Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania was on Stephen Colbert this week. He won one of his early elections by one vote. If he didn't have that one vote, he wouldn't be a senator today. So every vote counts. And also, the Houston Chronicle puts out their endorsements tomorrow morning. I urge you to take those with you. They endorse for the best person. They don't favor Democrats or Republicans. They interview candidates, and they know their records. So be sure to vote. And vote against Donald Trump. He lies all the time. He calls his opponents ugly names. He's been convicted of 34 felonies. He's unfit for the White House. And on your discussion about dementia, the Theater Southwest has a really good play on now called The Father. It's all about dementia. It's an excellent play at Theater Southwest. And anyway, I urge that. And let's see, I had one more thing. The New York Times yesterday had a big feature about signing up for Medicare or Medicare Advantage. I urge you to read that. There's a lot of good information about it. There's going to be a lot of changes next year, so I urge you to read about that, some of that stuff on the air.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. You're a good man. Appreciate your support and appreciate you. All right, folks, we are still at 0, and I have a whole lot of calls. But before I can go to the calls, I have to pitch and ask you to provide. I'm not going to the next caller until our station ID, which is at 7 o'clock in 3 minutes. So therefore, you have the time right now without missing anything we talk about to go ahead and make that call right now. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Can you give us $5 a month? That will be matched by a $50 contribution as well. Can you give us $10 a month? That is what I contribute. I volunteer here. I don't make a penny. I just want you to know that I don't make a penny, but I'm here every day at 6 o'clock to make sure that and by the way, and that is just to be on air. We spend hours preparing these shows for us. And the reason we do that is we want an educated population. We want an informed population. But to do that, we need your support. The electricity costs, the antenna costs, keeping the building cool costs. I mean, there's so many costs, and it only gets done by what we do 4 times a year. So please give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Donna just called in and said, I just signed up. Thank you so kindly, Doctor. Thank you so kindly. I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't popped up yet, but I know it will. 713-526-5738. We cannot do this without you. Let me pass it to Sandy. Folks, you still have 2 minutes to call in before I go to the next caller, and so you don't miss any of the program. Go ahead, Sandy.
We'll be looking for Donna's pledge, and we'll be looking for yours as well. We've got a long way to go and just about 20 minutes to get there on this program. And we are at 0, which is puzzling, this being the last Monday of Fund Drive and being so close to the goal. I would hope that would motivate a few people that haven't yet pledged to join in to help push that ball over the goal line. I mean, all the 779 kind acts brought it down to striking distance. Now, can we punch it over the line and fund KPFT for those winter months? Don't forget, we have a fajita dinner coming up on November 13th. That's a $120 pledge that you can do $10 a month at a time. And if you join as a sustainer, a $50 bill gets thrown on top of that. That's going to be at the Cadillac Bar and Grill, hosted by Ricky Scerdo. If two of you want to go, it's $200. Similarly, in January, we have a brunch at Under the Volcano. One plate, $120 or $10 a month. Two for $200. Now, if you're by yourself and you're going, those two meals sound pretty good, you can get both for $200. So you can sign up for just the meals. In December, we have the R&R Cruise with Tom Richards and Ronnie Renfro. I don't know if everybody's heard the ditty that Tom put together based on Louis Louis. Oh, yeah, you got to go. Hey, he did a little karaoke to that, and it was absolutely hysterical. We'll be playing that through the course of the day, so hopefully you'll be able to hear that. But bottom line, 3-hour cruise on Clear Lake on December 7th, fully catered, beer, wine, food, the whole thing. Ronnie and Tom, and that boat, it's starting to fill up. We probably have about a 2/3 full boat at this point, so there's still room for you. That's $150 for a single ticket and $275 for a pair. Now, if all of that sounds good to put on your social calendar, you can go to all three events for one price, $1 a day, $365, or for two, for a $50 a month pledge, or $600. In return, you'll get 3 really good events in November, December, and January. Those are just some of the thank you gifts, but the biggest thank you is having this station, folks. I mean, 54 years and 8 months ain't no joke. It's here because all these people, all that time, donated to make it possible for you to hear us this morning. So make that donation, pass it forward, keep independent media on the dial, please. It's a vanishing breed, and we need independent media like never before. What is the truth? What is the discussion about Medicare? Is anybody else having this in a public forum such as KPFT? I don't think so. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org, and click donate. Egberto, back to you. We'll look for that first donation. It's 2 minutes after 7 o'clock. We got 18 minutes to go. So come on, folks.
This is KPFT Houston, 90.1 FM
Clear,
Houston.
Sandy.
Thank you so kindly for your ears, your eyeballs, for those of you who are watching. But please, folks, 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button, select Politics and Right as a show you're supporting, and we'll be in business. Let's go to Moses. How you doing, Moses?
Hi. Hello?
Hi, Moses. How you doing, my dear sister?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. I am going to say this to especially our Christian and church people and all of that. When people open their mouths and say God will do it, it is because they do not understand the Bible or don't understand who God is. To say this is to nullify the 10 Commandments. God gave you his part. He said, this is what you shall do. He gave you his part, and he has his part. When he told Moses, I gave you the command, point the rod and open the way. If Moses did not do what God said, where would Israel be? So we have our part, and he gave us our part. And if we don't do it, then we are in trouble with him. And when he says, do not strengthen the hands of a wicked man who obviously promotes rebellion against the commandments of God, lying, violence, robbery, hatred, adultery, and all of this mess. When he tells us do not, and you stand up there and you see this happening, and you hear, he have already told you don't do it, and you go and you say, oh, God will do, and God already told you what to do. And you go and you vote for this man, and all these people are perishing, then their blood is upon your head, because you could have done something. save them,
Moses,
but end
Moses,
up there. And let me say this last thing.
yes.
God is the overseer of the job he ordered men to do, to keep righteousness on the earth. And you are the worker. And he said, these are the things you will do. And if you don't do it, then I'm going to have to take another thing, another
Thank you.
way. So the
Thank you so
people who are
kind.
saying that going to depend, God will, you do your part so God can do his part.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Moses. Thank you, Moses. Let me just add a corollary to Moses. I am not a church going person. I'm not a Christian. I am a humanist. I believe in human beings. I believe in doing things that are right by humans. I grew up a Christian. And I can't, by the name of anything, understand what's going on with evangelical Christians who consider uh, Trump their incarnated Jesus Christ. I just don't get it. But that is what, in a lot of times, bad leadership does to you. I don't blame the pew. I blame the pastors. I blame the leaders who, for all practical purposes, are on the take. All right, let's go to Brother Brian. Come on in, Brian.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Donna. If you pledged, it's well spent. Hope you get some more donations.
Thank you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Why does Donald Trump get such bad press reviews from mainstream media?
Personally, I'll just say because he does bad things. That's all I'm going to say. He does a lot of bad things. I don't know of anything. I told you yesterday, the last time you brought this subject up, I asked you, I gave you the floor, and I told you, please give me a list of good things this guy has done, because I have pages of bad things he has done, and haven't been able to find the good things. So what are the good things that you found?
Okay. I've already told you this. Jack Johnson, he pardoned his sentence. He was a black man that brought a white woman across state lines. He commuted the sentence of a woman that was smoking a joint and got caught. Let me see. Something about legislation for black men mostly, that their prison sentence was deemed really too long. There's a lot of things. I'm not going to go into that.
All right, I got to stop you right there for one reason, because it's amazing how you break down all these things, and you're equating blackness with criminality, right? Oh, all the things that Donald Trump has done with black people or for particular folks, it has to do with them being in the criminal justice system. What about that's such a small part of the community? That in itself is evil, because it promotes to the rest of America that somehow the only value of black folk is within the criminal justice system. But continue finding other things. What else have you found?
Okay. Okay. How about the right to try law? You heard of that one? That covers all races, creeds, and medical ability.
Okay.
You know what that was?
No, I don't know what that is, but I don't even know if I.
Yeah, someone that has stage 4. Yeah, someone that has stage 4 cancer. They decided that they're going to help humanity, and they're going to take a drug that hasn't been tested to prolong their life. Okay. Now, the other day he talked about what's her name? It skips me now. The mainstream media said Donald Trump said she should be put in front of a firing squad.
Yes,
now, if you listen
he did.
to what he said, no, he did not. If you listen to what he said, we don't want our military people to be told what to do by people that are not in the military. Okay? She wants to put our men up on the firing squad, not the other way around.
All right, here's the deal. Okay, Brian, look, I don't have the time for this kind of a discussion right now, but let me just tell you this. I have the entire transcript and I watched it live, okay? I watched it live. You're not going to spin it for me. I watched it live. But anyway, hey, you have carte blanche on this program. We'll talk tomorrow. Let's go to Betty. Come on in, Betty.
Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning, beautiful.
I'm a Bernie girl. Yeah. I'm a Bernie girl through and through. Me
You're
and
my
my little
sister then.
baby.
I'm a Bernie girl. I'm a Bernie guy. Go ahead.
You're a burning guy. But anyway, on Social Security and Medicaid, my sister that passed away in April the 19th, she got to get on Medicaid. She was Social Security and Medicaid, thank God, for 6 and 7 years. And Social Security, I paid in for it years and years and never drawed on it, and only my husband. But on Ray's thing about him saying about leave it, my sister, she's a Bible thumper, and she always says, I'll leave it in God's hands. And I tell her, I said, well, that's just like looking for a buried treasure, good luck with that,
All right,
So,
Betty. Betty, I'm running close on time, so let's talk tomorrow. But thank you so kindly, Betty, and we'll talk tomorrow. Okay,
yeah,
sis?
I'm going to vote. Yeah, I'm going to vote tomorrow. I'll wait for the big day and watch.
You go vote,
it
and you give us a report as far as how it went. Okay, we'll be on air, by the way.
Hope I don't get put in jail.
You won't. You'll be fine. Let's go to Brother Jacob. Thank you, Betty. Let's go to Brother Jacob. Jacob, come on. Oh, before I need to thank Josephine. Thank you so kindly for your contribution. LJ, thank you so kindly for your contribution. And Michelle, thank you so kindly for your contribution. We're still about $400 short, folks. Let's go to Jacob. Come on in, Jacob.
Yeah. Hey, everybody that don't believe in transgender rights and all this transgender stuff is not feeble-minded. Some of us do believe in God. You don't have to. You could be what you want to do, but He's gonna show you who He is. Now,
okay,
I don't want my granddaughter.
Jacob.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I interrupted. You're absolutely right, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want my granddaughter using a restroom and go past a stall and there's some whatever, what I mean, that's not fully constructed, and she go past and she see that. What we going to go tell her and then mess her head up? That's what's wrong with the lefties, the extremes, those who, and your guy Ray talking about he intimidating, saying this and like he's scared, be scared people. Ain't nobody scared of him. And with the gay stuff, y'all gonna see. You're charged with the company. You can be with guys show you who he is. And Moses, that my answer name is Moshe. I'm a descendant. I'm Israel. And that's not in our commandments.
Okay,
So,
I'm running out of time now, Jacob, but I need to answer you. I'm running out of time. You can look. You can call my program anytime and have a full discussion. Right now, we're short in time, so let me just respond in one. Wait. Let me respond in one respect. You can live whatever life you want to live, and you can have whatever religion you want to have, and you can believe whatever you want to believe. Just don't impose it on others. Just remember that. Thank you, Jacob. We'll talk tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Bart. Come on in, Bart. Brother Bart, you're on. Are you there, Bart? Okay, I guess Bart couldn't wait. Anyway, folks, we're still short quite a bit of funding here. Could you give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Extension number 1. I'm going to pass it to Sandy. I had another video. We don't have the time for it. So I'm going to pass it to Sandy, and then we'll finish up here.
Thank you, Egberto, and thanks to the 3 people that did step up and break the ice. We are still well short of our goal for this program, but Josephine, LJ, who's done more than one donation this drive, thank you, and also Michelle, thank you for donating and getting us started this morning. But we need to hear from you. Can someone do a $1 a day pledge, a $365 pledge? Treat yourself to the fajita dinner, the cruise, and the brunch when you do so, or pick up the thank you gift that you'd like to choose from. But folks, the biggest thank you is having this station in Houston, Texas. It's improbable that we're here after 54 years and 8 months, or is it? I think there's enough passion in the community. I think there's enough concern in the community to fund this radio station and fund it well and make the goal this morning. apply that passion, the same voices that are calling in and are trying to make a point and doing so with fervor. Think of KPFT in that regard and fervently support this radio station. It's the only one we got. This station exists because people fund it. Politics Done Right is on the air because KPFT is here. Now, KPFT may survive without Politics Done Right, but would Politics Done Right survive without KPFT? Ask yourself that question, because that's the forum that we've created. That's what we got. All the voices you hear, they're volunteers out of the community, and they have that drive, and they have that same passion to present the point, which in turn evokes these phone calls and these conversations. But the only reason they can do it is because there's a vessel. There's a place to come and do it, and that is 4504 Caroline Street, this house that was built in the 1930s that was purchased in May of 2022 and converted into a radio studio. We have that. But to keep it, we've got to fund it. We've got to pay these bills. So come on, join in. Don't sit idle. Do your thing. Make that pledge and participate. Especially if you haven't done it yet this drive. Especially if you haven't done it yet this drive. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And in advance, thank you for your support. Go ahead, Edberto.
Yeah, we
Back to
can
you.
do this. We can do this. We can do this. Look, folks,
Clear, Sandy.
yeah, Sandy is actually 100% correct, okay? We cannot do this without you. Anyway, look, we're at 7:16. We are leaving Politics Done Right a little bit later than normal. We're going to be starting Democracy Now! Inside 20 minutes, or rather at 7:20. I want to thank you on air right now. So why don't you give me a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. Hey, you want coffee with Egberto? $250. I mean, it's a gimmick, all right? I know, but I'll do it, and you'll get some. My buddy that comes on Thursday, Neil Aquino as well. We'll come out there, have some coffee with you, and chill, discuss politics. You agree with us, you disagree with us, whatever you want. Hey, it's worth it. It's really, really worth it. We have quite a few people that have taken us up on that. We've had great coffees out there. So let's do it. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Look, we have a very important election coming up right now. And many people have listened into the program. Many people here were not sure how they're going to vote. We're not informed on what's best for their particular personal economy, their healthcare, etc. And they've not only listened to the stories we've done on Medicare Advantage. Today we brought Dr. Dona Kim Murphey, who had some excellent points as far as why one particular candidate support this and that, and what it means to your family, your mother, your father, your brother. I mean, we do our part. We make sure to keep you informed, and we do this not for money. Again, I'm not paid to do this at KPFT. KPFT doesn't pay me a penny. In fact, I am also a donor to KPFT. We provide this program to KPFT, and I donate to KPFT $10 a month. I do a lot of 501c3, so I can't give. I'd love to give a lot more, but when you have a whole lot of charities and groups that you support, you have to spread the wealth, if you will. And I know a lot of you do that. So I'm asking you to do that right now. Give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. We got to get out of here in about 50 seconds. I'm going to ask Sandy to give it like a 15, 20-second closer, and then we'll close this baby up.
Thank you, Egberto. And my closer is this. Thank you to Daniel P., a new member who took a couple things. I can't tell what gifts he took, but He did make a significant donation, pushing us to at least the $300 goal. We still can use another $250 to make Egberto's goal this morning. So 713-526-5738, the final Monday. Tomorrow's it for Politics Done Right. That will be your last chance to donate. Of course, you can do that after Egberto gets off the air at kpft.org or by dialing 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org and click donate. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you, LJ. Thank you, Michelle and Josephine, thank you very much for chiming in this morning and pushing us. Michelle as well, thank you very much for pushing us toward where we need to be. Back to you, Egberto, and thank you for what you do each and every morning, Monday to Friday. I know it's a labor of love, but it's still a job.
We got to do it. We got to do it. Anyway, folks, one last pitch, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Donate as much as you can, $5 a month, $10 a month, or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button. Be sure to let them know it's for select Politics Done Right as a program, or tell them it's Politics Done Right as a program so that it's credited appropriately. Look, I got to get out of here. Jack, real quick, anything you need to say, real quick?
Yeah, turn Texas back blue.
Thank you, brother. Anyway, folks, my name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
We now join Democracy Now! In progress.